GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, Toronto. I'm Jordan Parker. A brick attack near Broadview Station has led to an arrest, and Metrolinx just launched daily GEO service to Stratford. Later, we'll check the heat wave impact on ERs and hear about the city's new polling station jobs drive. Over to you, Nathan.
Water for Elephants musical opens at the Royal Alexandra Theatre this Tuesday, running through mid-August with nightly performances at 7:35 p.m.
Tickets are available online and at the box office, with prices ranging from $45 to $150 and a senior discount applied.
The production stars Alex Warren as Jacob, with Maya Liu portraying Marlena, and includes a live orchestra performing original score.
Lots to get to. Let's begin and dive into the day's stories together, keeping you informed and ready today. Good morning, Toronto.
Toronto Police Service confirmed they are investigating a suspected arson fire, an explosion that ripped through a midtown restaurant early this morning. Firefighters arrived on scene shortly after the blast, battling intense flames that threatened neighboring storefronts before the blaze was contained. Police officers secured the perimeter and began a forensic examination, collecting video footage and interviewing witnesses to determine the origin of the ignition. Officials said the incident appears intentional, prompting a criminal investigation and the deployment of arson specialists. No injuries have been reported, and the restaurant remains closed while authorities assess damage. The investigation is ongoing, and police have asked anyone with additional information to come forward. The fire erupted before sunrise on Yonge Street near St. Clair, sending a boom that rattled nearby residents. Investigators are reviewing security footage from nearby businesses and have dispatched a fire marshal to coordinate with Toronto Fire Services Command.
More Torontonians and visitors are swapping cars for steps, pedals, and transit as the city hosts the 2026 FIFA World Cup. CBC News reports that walking, bike share trips, and TTC rides have risen sharply since the tournament kicked off on June 8th. The City of Toronto says the surge reflects both the influx of fans and a push to keep streets moving smoothly. Bike Share Toronto notes a record high checkout rate, while the TTC says ridership is up by a noticeable margin across subways, streetcars, and buses. Officials point to the World Cup's draw of massive crowds as the catalyst for the shift toward greener travel. The trend is expected to hold through the final match on July 8th, helping reduce congestion and emissions as the tournament winds down.
Marina Mabrey has become the Toronto Tempo's inaugural All-Star, earning a reserve spot on the upcoming WNBA All-Star roster. The guard selection marks the first time a Tempo player will wear the league's marquee jersey, a milestone for the franchise that debuted only last season. Tempo head coach emphasized how Mabrey's scoring punch and defensive hustle have quickly made her a fan favorite across the city, from the streets of Little Italy to the courts of the Matami Athletic Center. The All-Star Game, set for mid-July, will showcase the league's top talent, and Mabrey's presence underscores the rapid growth of professional women's basketball in Toronto. Fans can expect her to join the league's elite on the court, representing the city's newest basketball chapter. Local supporters gathered at the arena's lobby, cheering as the announcement played on the big screen, while social media buzzed with hashtags celebrating the breakthrough.
The Federal Alto high-speed rail project was unveiled today, promising a new train line that will slash the Toronto to Montreal journey to roughly 3 hours. CBC's Trish LePerc reported the government's plan to lay tracks that bridge Ontario and Quebec with speeds comparable to other G7 nations. If built, the service would replace the current 8-hour ride, giving business travelers and tourists a faster, greener option. Officials say the 3-hour target aligns with Canada's goal to finally join the club of countries boasting high-speed rail. The 3-hour target would be a dramatic improvement over the current 8-hour schedule, offering a competitive alternative to air travel. The announcement comes as the country remains the only G7 member without such a network, underscoring the federal push for modern transit. The federal announcement underscores a renewed commitment to modernizing national transportation infrastructure.
Organizers of a planned cultural day in Toronto's Little Jamaica neighborhood announced Tuesday evening that the event has been canceled. The gathering, which was to feature food vendors, live music, and community activities, was slated for this weekend, but could not proceed because the required city permits were not secured. City officials confirmed the permits were denied, leaving the organizers with no legal avenue to hold the event. The city's licensing department indicated that the application was incomplete and required additional documentation. Little Jamaica, a district already confronting economic hardship, had been preparing for the high-profile celebration before the decision. The cancellation was confirmed at 9:33 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on July 7. Organizers expressed disappointment but thanked volunteers for their efforts. Both the event planners and municipal authorities said they will explore options for future programming, but no new date has been set.
We'll explore Ontario police laying over 2,400 traffic charges in a street racing crackdown, more after the break. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back. Let's dive straight into what matters. Here's our local reporter with the stories you need to hear before you head out.
Yesterday, the Ontario Provincial Police, together with partner forces across the Greater Toronto and Hamilton regions, concluded Project Erase, a coordinated sweep aimed at illegal street racing. Officers issued a total of 2,556 charges, including 2,438 under the Highway Traffic Act and 118 criminal code counts. The crackdown targeted drivers who were caught racing on public roads, reinforcing provincial laws that prohibit dangerous speed contests. Police said the operation was designed to deter future races and protect motorists who share the streets. Those charged now face fines, license suspensions, and for the criminal offenses, possible court proceedings. The effort reflects a broader provincial push to curb high-risk driving behaviors that have plagued neighborhoods and commuter routes in recent months. City officials noted the timing coincided with a rise in reported collisions linked to reckless driving.
Yesterday, a police document surfaced exposing a corruption probe that ties Toronto officers to illegal cannabis dispensaries and massage parlors. York Regional Police investigators allege a conspiracy in which members of the Toronto Police Service helped run the unlicensed operations, blending drug distribution with front-door businesses. The report says the scheme involved coordinated efforts to conceal sales, manipulate records, and shield participants from law enforcement scrutiny. Officials say the alleged network could have affected neighborhoods across the city, raising questions about internal oversight and public trust. Both police forces have confirmed they are reviewing the allegations and have launched internal investigations. No arrests have been announced yet, but the inquiry is expected to continue as authorities examine how the alleged activities were organized and who else may be involved. City officials will monitor the outcome closely.
Yesterday, the defending champion of the National Bank Open, Victoria Mboko, announced she would not compete after sustaining a knee injury. The withdrawal came just before her scheduled first-round match in the women's draw, ending her title defense at the Toronto WTA event. Officials from Tennis Canada confirmed the injury was significant enough to prevent her from playing, though they declined to detail the exact nature of the damage. Mboko's absence removes a local favorite from a tournament that draws large crowds and international attention each summer. Fans who had purchased tickets for her matches will see adjustments to the schedule, and the draw now opens for other competitors to advance. The tournament will continue through the weekend, with the men's final slated for Sunday. Local hotels and restaurants anticipate a modest decline in visitor traffic, and broadcasters plan to fill the vacant slot with extra match replays.
Yesterday, the Toronto Maple Leafs announced that former Ottawa Senators captain Daniel Alfredson has joined their coaching staff as an associate coach. The move adds a Hall of Fame forward with more than 1,000 regular season games to the bench, giving the team a fresh perspective on offense and player development. Alfredson, who spent 15 seasons leading the Senators and earned a reputation for leadership on and off the ice, will work alongside head coach Craig Berube and the existing staff. Leafs officials said his experience and hockey sense are expected to help younger players transition to the NHL level. Fans in the building and across the city welcomed the news, noting the former captain's deep ties to the league. The coaching addition comes as Toronto prepares for the next stretch of the season, looking to improve its standing in the Eastern Conference.
Yesterday, a two-vehicle collision north of Aylmer claimed the life of a constable in training and left a second trainee in critical condition, officials said. Durham Regional Police confirmed the crash involved two officer candidates traveling to the Ontario Police College, the province's main training hub for new police personnel. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but despite advanced care, the younger officer was pronounced dead at the scene, while the other remains hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. Police noted the incident underscores the risks faced by trainees even before they begin active duty, and the department will review transport protocols. Families of the officers have been notified, and the college will suspend classes for the day while investigators examine the roadway factors that contributed to the tragedy. Toronto residents may notice temporary adjustments to patrol schedules as the force reallocates resources during the investigation.
Now let's take a quick look at your afternoon forecast with our weather team.
A weakening ridge and an incoming trough set the stage for a breezy high-pressure lull before evening rain. On this date, the all-time high reached 34.1 degrees Celsius in 2010, a blistering spike that rode the tail end of a historic heat wave across the Great Lakes. The record low of 13.8 degrees Celsius fell in 2009, when an Arctic front plunged unusually far south, delivering a sharp cold snap. Normal July highs hover around 27 degrees and lows near 17, so today's 23 degrees feels modest against the long-term averages. The live radar screen is remarkably quiet, with no rain echoes across southern Ontario. A broad ridge of high pressure dominates the map, suppressing lift and keeping moisture locked in the upper layers. The jet stream streams northwest at roughly 49 kilometers per hour, steering any disturbance well north of the city. With the current air mass stable, we expect clear skies to persist through the afternoon and into the evening before the next system arrives late tomorrow. At noon, the temperature sits at 23 degrees under a clear sky, humidity lingering around 84%. Pressure is near average but falling, indicating an unsettled system will edge in later this week. The jet stream overhead moving from the northwest is feeding cooler air aloft while maintaining a gentle southeast breeze at 12 kilometers per hour at the surface. UV index reads 8, signaling strong solar intensity. Winds remain light, so wind chill is negligible. No weather alerts are in effect, and sunset is slated for 9 o'clock tonight. Thursday brings a high of 27 degrees and a low of 19, with overcast clouds and a 20% chance of rain as the next trough nudges the region. Friday remains similar, high 26, low 19, and a lingering 20% rain probability, though skies clear by midday. Saturday and Sunday both hold steady at 26 degrees high and 18 low, with clear skies and no precipitation in the forecast. Monday spikes to 29 degrees with a warm low of 22, offering a dry, sunny stretch to close the workweek. The pattern reflects a gradual transition from a damp front to a more settled, warm ridge by early next week. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic smooth despite lane closures. Tonight's lineup includes Toronto Tempo versus Golden State Valkyries and Alma's Indian Cuisine Spotlight Shines. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Highway 427 southbound express lane is closed between Finch Avenue and Browns Line as construction continues. Expect a 5 to 10 minute delay for drivers heading downtown, and consider the regular lanes or alternate routes such as the Gardiner. On the Queen Elizabeth Way, a lane remains closed from East Mall to Bront Road, adding similar delays for eastbound traffic toward the airport. No accidents are reported, so traffic is moving otherwise. On transit, several escalators are out of service. At Eglinton Station, the LRT platform escalator is down, and Greenwood, Kipling, and Finch West stations each have a single escalator offline, meaning longer walks for riders. Streetcars are detoured near Manitoba Drive and Strachan Avenue as the city adjusts routes for the FIFA World Cup. In response, Overnight service has been added on the 511 Bathurst and 509 Harborfront streetcars. Plan extra time if you're traveling through these points this afternoon.
Toronto Tempo takes on the Golden State Valkyries at Coca-Cola Coliseum today, an indoor soccer clash that promises non-stop action for any sports fan. Top scorers light up the fast-paced game, a quick thrill for any fan. Music lovers head to CAA Theatre for The Secret Chord, a Leonard Cohen experience, a moving tribute that weaves his poetry and melodies into an unforgettable night. Fans hear classics and rare cuts performed by an ensemble that captures Cohen's intimate vibe. Art enthusiasts, the Art Gallery of Ontario opens its doors free from 4 to 8 this Wednesday, giving you a perfect cultural pause without spending a cent. Tonight's free hours also showcase a contemporary photography exhibit, adding fresh perspectives. Looking ahead, the Festival of South Asia lands on Centre Island this weekend, delivering 2 days of vibrant music, bold flavors, and colorful dance that will light up the summer. Don't miss the street food market with samosas, biryanis, and mango lassi. And now here's Marcus with sports.
Here's the latest on Toronto's teams, from soccer to baseball and basketball. AFC Toronto has added Olympic gold medal defender Shelina Zadorsky to its roster, CBC Sports Soccer reported on July 8. The Canadian national team stalwart returns home, aiming to bolster the Northern Super League side as the season ramps up. Toronto Blue Jays hitting coaches have rolled out a novelty home run dragon, Sportsnet noted on July 8. The playful mascot is meant to spark confidence in a lineup that has struggled to find its power, urging players to swing without fear. The Raptors honored Kyle Lowry with a one-day contract, allowing him to retire officially as a Toronto player, Sportsnet reported on July 8. Analysts Michael Grange and Ivanka Osmak reflected on his relentless competitiveness, noting the lasting imprint he leaves on the franchise and its fans.
Alma's Indian Cuisine on Ellesmere Road in Scarborough opens its doors this week, inviting the neighborhood to a new chapter of Royal Indian dining. The family-run spot serves authentic regional dishes, from buttery naan to slow-cooked biryani, crafted with locally sourced produce and spices imported straight from India. To celebrate, the grand opening on July 4, 2026 offers a generous 40% discount on every menu item. Residents can now gather for a taste of tradition that feels both upscale and welcoming, turning a familiar street into a culinary destination. It matters to Toronto because each new table strengthens the city's cultural tapestry, one flavorful bite at a time for everyone. And before we go, congratulations to Marina Mabry, Toronto Tempo's first all-star representative, a milestone for the city. We will be right back.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on gmna for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
Toronto City Council just gave the go-ahead for a $45 million community hub at Harborfront Centre, promising new recreation space and affordable housing units on the bustling waterfront. The project could reshape Queens Key West for families and visitors alike. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks, Jordan Parker. I'm standing on the bustling promenade of Harborfront Centre, the wind off Lake Ontario rattling the glass panels of the art gallery, and a steady stream of cyclists and tourists weaving past the open-air cafe where street musicians riff on saxophones. Behind me, the iconic sail-shaped pavilions loom, their steel ribs glinting in the late afternoon sun. City officials just confirmed that Toronto City Council voted 32-2 in favor of the Harborfront Community Hub, a $45 million project that will add a multi-purpose recreation center, 120 affordable housing units, and expanded public space along Queens Key West. After a one-year public consultation, crews are set to break ground this fall, with concrete mixers and crane silhouettes already staged near the waterfront promenade. Residents watch hopeful faces, children tugging at their parents' hands, imagining a new place to play and live. For families on the waterfront, the new hub promises a place to play, learn, and call home. Carl Dumont virtually at Harborfront Centre.
At the heart of downtown Toronto, inside the Princess Margaret Cancer Centre, a team of researchers gathered around a polished mahogany table. Leading the effort, Dr. Aisha Patel, a molecular oncologist known for turning lab discoveries into patient hope, smiled as she held a small vial of crimson plasma. That single drop holds the promise of catching cancer before it can return, using a blood test that reads the tiniest fragments of tumor DNA left after treatment. The trial, the largest of its kind in Canada, will enroll hundreds of survivors from across the province, each willing to donate a quick finger prick sample every few months. In one of the first appointments, a 37-year-old mother of two who finished chemotherapy last year watched the nurse place the needle on her fingertip. As the drop fell, she whispered, "If this helps someone else stay healthy, it's worth it." When the first results arrive, they could change how doctors monitor remission, turning anxious waiting into reassurance. It shows science, compassion, and community can work together to protect the future of those we love. We'll keep watching this story unfold because every step forward matters.
On a bright afternoon outside Lambton College's main entrance in Sarnia, a small crowd of international students gathered beneath a maple leaf banner, their faces a mix of relief and resolve. The gathering followed the recent police announcement that 2 Ontario residents have been charged with multiple offenses for allegedly defrauding students who had come here seeking education and a new start. Investigators say the suspects promised undisclosed benefits, taking tuition money and living expense advances. But the college's vigilance sparked a Canada Border Services Agency probe after staff flagged irregular payments in February. In the coffee shop next door, a student from Ghana clutched a handwritten note from a local legal aid volunteer, its simple promise, "You are not alone," echoing through the room. That moment sparked the launch of a peer mentorship program, pairing newcomers with senior students who can navigate paperwork and housing together. The charges send a clear message that exploitation will not be tolerated, and the community's swift response shows how a campus can turn a betrayal into a stronger, more caring network. It's a reminder that when we look out for each other, the city feels a little safer.
Thank you, Toronto, for joining us on the lunch break. Tonight's look at the surge in walking, cycling, and transit as the 2026 World Cup approaches highlighted the city's energy. I'm Jordan Parker. See you tomorrow for more stories that matter to our community.